Analogies and metaphors are proof that ideas.
I don't think I quite understand that sentence. Let's see. He doesn't want miracles for proof because miracles, if I had any available, he will explain them any other way. And if he didn't have an explanation, he just wouldn't explain them. So it wouldn't do. Secondly, he says that analogies and metaphors are ideas. And ideas are not proof. Huh. So, let's see. If logical ideas are not proof and miracles are not proof, I guess I'm not understanding him. Is he saying he won't accept anything as a proof?
Hi, Theramin Trees. I was lost in thought. Anyways, thank you for making all those wonderful videos that you have been making in response to my videos. I am definitely having a good time, and I see that your fan club is clapping, so they're also having fun, so this is great. We're all enjoying ourselves. You can call me Con Marce too, you can call me Joe, or you can call me Ricardo Montalban. Let's see. As far as I can identify, there are 4 positions a person can have concerning God. So let's take a look at these structures of thought concerning the existence of God. First group we look at, I will call them the God who's. You can name them as you wish. If you don't like the names I choose for them. I don't know anybody on this group, but it's a probability for them their existence, so I include them. The second group is the atheist. Here we find people that affirm that God does not exist beyond a concept. The third group I call agnostics, but I am glad to let you call them any other name as long as what I'm trying to say is clear. This group affirms that it is impossible to know if God exists or not, as more than just a concept, of course. And the fourth group is the believers, which include anybody that affirms that God is not only a concept, but his effects can be noticed in the world of matter. I am going to leave this group wide open because many are the beliefs of the believers. The common denominator is that they believe in a transcendence of some kind. So much for that clarification. On to the next part. The sin. The words, as you pointed out, were, I have yet to have explained to me how a victimless activity could be classified as a sin. Since you explained to me that you do not believe in sins, and I want to believe you, I take that to mean that when you really said that, you wanted to say, I have yet to have explained to me how a victimless activity could be classified as a crime. You perhaps had a slip of a tongue, because it wouldn't make any difference to you if they classified it as something as irrelevant as a sin. Leaving out the side dishes, not without making a remark first that I appreciate you throwing in a joke from time to time. You're a good entertainer. But after presenting my definition of God to you, it's not all that clear to me that you are in acceptance of this definition, or whether you have other requirements that need to be fulfilled in order to earn this category. Now, let's look at the force of nature. There are many, you say. Yes, there are. Here I see a big gap on our thinking. While you're breaking the whole apart to study its parts, you seem to not look at the fact that they are also in a relationship. You're ignoring that relationship, it seems to me.
For me, nature is a term used to describe a collection of forces. It isn't a force in itself.
While you look at the world with Newtonian eyes as all pieces that work in separate ways, I look at it with eyes of quantum physics where everything is part of a whole. I think that after we took the toy apart, we forgot that it's all an ecosystem, a system that we inhabit, guided by the laws of nature, a concept that is commonly agreed upon. But if it causes you stress, we can call it the ecosystem. Though I must say that I am a bit confused because on your second answer to me, you said,
There can be a sensible in contemplating the order of events that had to come together to produce any particular moment.
which seems to imply that you see the relationship between events. In nature, we found many forces as we began to analyze them separately. The force of gravity, electromagnetic forces, the nuclear forces are just but a few of the names that we gave those forces that we found on the universe that we inhabit. But I guess now it is finally obvious that these forces are inside of the universe and they are forces of the universe. And now for the disappointing bit, as you call it. I'll try to explain myself better this time. Well, first of all, it's not an analogy what I'm proposing. What it is a test that I have to make upon myself to determine what gives me self-awareness and apply the same rules to other entities to see if they also satisfy the same requirements. Unless you can propose something else that needs to exist for me to be self-aware, then there is no further rules that I can see, and the burden to come up with those rules in any case will be yours since you propose that they exist. You go on to play with fire, very entertaining, but as you say, the idea that the fire is alive will break apart because it's faulty logic. Suppose you use all the rules you know are needed to say that something is alive. Things like mental activity, for example, isn't that not required in a hospital to determine if a person hooked up to a machine is alive? Do you detect mental activity in fire? Don't worry then, because you didn't commit any murder when you were doing your response to me. But you didn't take the time to break this analogy of mine apart. You say that it could be broken apart. Perhaps you can show me where the logic fails. I am open to revise my thinking. I have done it a few times before, and I didn't lose my footing in the doing. And now for your counter-argument. Perhaps I have not explained myself well. You see, this bit about the house, the street, England, being sentient, needs a little more explanation. The difference between those things that you propose and the universe is that although you inhabit your house, you can leave your house or your street or England. When you start to be such an integral part of the planet, the solar system, or the universe in such a way that you cannot exit, never mind to live outside of it, then it's safe to say that you're part of it. Of course, none of this applies when you look at the world with the eyes of Newton. My time is up and so many things left to say. Some other time, my friend, we'll continue this conversation.